Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I'm actually popping in for a second time this morning. I'm going to remake my In the Pines card from this morning. I actually deleted the old video. There was a bit of a weird echo in it. I'm not really sure why. I think it was a new program I was trying to use for recording. So I'm going to try this again without the echo because I personally couldn't stand to watch it. I didn't want to share that on other platforms and make other people suffer through that. So to Val and Laura and everybody else who, Marie, everybody who suffered through that earlier video, I'm so sorry, and thank you for bearing with me on that one. But here we go. I'm going to do this again without the echo. So this is the In the Pines bundle. It is a beautiful stamp set along with some gorgeous dies, and I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks on how to use these dies to get the best cuts with them. So we're actually going to start with that. We're going to be cutting out a really fancy, intricate die. And we're going to be using these two dies to do it. So before we even get started, I've got here, this is my old Sizzix, but Stampin' Up! Offers adhesive sheets. And so I've got a 6x6 piece of Whisper White cardstock and a 6x6 piece of an adhesive sheet. And I'm just going to peel the backing off of one edge and lay this down over top of my Whisper White cardstock. Oh, don't catch yet. And so I want to make sure that it's all lined up. And I'll show you. So that gets attached like that. And then I do have a little bit of trimming here to do. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and cut that excess off. Apparently I didn't measure very well the first time I cut. All right. So we just want these two sheets to be the exact same size so that we don't have any sticky bits showing through. Because basically what we're doing here is we're going to be creating a sticker sheet. It is the easiest way to work with intricate dies. And so you can use this for word dies. You can use this for fancy trees like we're doing today. It is just lovely. So now I haven't fully adhered this yet. I just adhered that one edge. And then I'm going to pull off the rest of this backing and just let it lay down nicely on top of our cardstock. So now, oh no, oh there we go. Whew, big save. So now what we have is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and the back side of it is adhesive. So now I can go grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we can run through some trees and make some nice tree stickers. So here's my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and even though we've got the sticker on there, it doesn't change at all how we use our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to have plate 1, plate 2, plate 3, then I'm going to lay down my cardstock, and I'm going to put it down so that the sticky side is down. So just the regular cardstock is facing up. And for these fancy trees, I'm actually going to cut just the outline piece first, and then we'll come in and cut the other piece. So hold this still. There we go. And then we're going to keep our machine out because we're going to cut the next part of this tree. So I've cut that outline. And now I'm going to grab the die that does the intricate bits and put it over top. And this is just going to allow me to really line it up nicely. I find if you do it the other way around, it's very hard to get the outline lined up around the intricate cuts. So this way we're just literally laying that piece over top of our cutout, and there we go. Okay. So now I have a very fancy cut tree all cut out. So before I put away my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I am going to do a few more die cuts here. I am going to run through that same tree again, just the outline of it. And I'm also going to cut out a label, and the label I'm using is actually from the Wishes and Wonders bundle. You could use any label you want. You could even use just a label punch and cut that out. But basically what it is we want just something that we're going to be able to stick our tree and our sentiment onto later. Okay, so here we go through. And voila. So that is my label and my tree cutout. And then we have one last piece of paper to work with here in our embossing machine. We are going to actually take away plate 2 and just use plate 1 and 3. And I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock that's cut at 4 by 5 1/4, just Whisper White again. And I'm popping it into my snowflake embossing folder, putting our plate 3 on top, and that's our embossing folder for just a regular, like a standard embossing folder, not a 3D one or anything. All right, so we've pulled that through, and now I can move my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of the way, and we can start designing our card now that we have all of our little bits created. All right, so there we go. So move all of these things out of the way, and all right, now I'm going to grab a Whisper White card base. I'm going to check which way it opens. If you saw my earlier video with the bad echo, I also glued the front of my card on the wrong way and had to fix that. It was pretty ridiculous. So I am coming in here. There we go. And I just used some liquid glue, and now I'm going to attach our embossed piece of Whisper White cardstock onto our thick Whisper White cardstock base. And that's just created a lovely little background for us to do some work with. Okay, so now our next thing is we're going to create, actually let's get all these pieces onto our card front first before we do any creating. So I have here our tag that we punched out, and I'm going to grab some silver metallic edged ribbon. I'm going to just squeeze the end here to make like a little point and pull that through. And I'm going to make some bunny ears just to gauge how long I need my ribbon. And then snip that. So now with my bunny ears, I'm not even going to tie a knot or anything, because tying a knot's just going to create like kind of a lump or a bundle that I don't want on my card. So I'm just creating 2 bunny ears and wrapping them around each other. And the ribbons are going to go wonky and not where you want them, and that's okay, because after we've got our bow kind of formed, we can come back in and do a whole bunch of fiddling here. Holding the center, we can make the edges longer, shorter, kind of tell our bow exactly where we want it and what we want it doing. Okay, well, this one really wants to twist, so let's let it twist. And there we go. So now I've got a bow all done up the way I'd like it, and I'm just going to trim up the edges. There. So that's our bow on our tag. So this tag can now get adhered to the front of our card. I'm just going to grab some dimensionals. Let's see here, not many ones. All right. So I have a pack here of dimensionals. I'm going to put 1 in each corner. That's just going to really hold this down, because we're going to do a few layers on this tag. All right. And peel those off. Wonderful. Okay, and we're going to put that down in the center of our card. Okay, so next step is to take our two tree pieces. We have our regular Whisper White cardstock tree piece, and then we have the fancy one that we did with the adhesive sheet and everything. And we're going to peel the adhesive backing off. Actually, here, let me hold this and do it this way. I'm going to peel the adhesive side off, and as we peel that adhesive side, if we peel the adhesive, not the cardstock, all the little bits that we don't need, well, almost all of them, stuck with the adhesive sheet. And now what we have is a lovely tree outline that is sticky. It's a sticker. And we're going to take that tree outline and our solid background. We're going to line them up. And as long as you don't press down really hard right away, you're going to be able to readjust this if you need to. Like here at the top of my tree, I need to do a bit of an adjustment. All right. So now that I've got that lined up where I want it, I can flip it over and just run my fingers over the back of this so that it really adheres. Okay. All right. Next step is to trim off, and actually I'm not going to use my big ribbon scissors. I'm going to grab a pair of snips. So I'll grab a pair of snips and we're going to come in here and trim off the stem of our tree. It was useful for helping line it up, but now we don't need it. Okay, so put my snips away. Then I'm going to get my Wink of Stella and I'm going to come in here and color in my tree with my Wink of Stella. So now while I'm coloring this, I'll let you know that coming up soon, I have an In the Pines card class. I believe the last date to RSVP is October 10th. And this card class is going to be much more colorful than the card I'm creating today, but it's using the same stamp set and die set. And it'll happen over Zoom. So I'll send out your package to you of your supplies, and then we'll meet online, you know, be able to enjoy a little glass of wine while we create and not have to worry about wearing masks and all that. So I have that coming up, and after this video is done, I'll post a link to the Facebook event. So if you'd like to sign up for that, you'll know where to go to sign up for it. And the other thing I have coming up, the deadline for this one is also October 10th, is I'm offering a new kind of social free paper pumpkin night. If you are a part of my team and purchase paper pumpkin, or if you are a customer and purchase paper pumpkin through me, then you will automatically get an invite to a paper pumpkin social night. It'll be the first Friday after our paper pumpkin kits arrive. So that will change monthly as to when that is. And yeah, you'll still see me come on and do my Facebook Live to show what the kit is. But then on the Friday night, I'll sit with you guys, socialize, help you through bits, and we'll create the rest of the kit together. And I'll also try my hand at a few alternatives that evening. So it should be a fun kind of thing. So the deadline for that to register and grab your paper pumpkin is October 10th, and it's a beautiful set this month called Joy to the World. So really excited about that. All right. So now I'm going to grab some Versamark ink, and I grabbed the Sentiment Season's Greetings from our In the Pines stamp set. I'm going to ink that up with Versamark, stamp that in the center of a 1/2 inch by 3 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock. And then I'm going to grab a sheet of scrap paper and put that piece on there. And the reason I'm using the scrap paper is because then it's going to catch all my extra bits of silver embossing powder. So I can kind of sprinkle everywhere, tap off back into my jar, even give a few little taps on the back to get the extras off. Oh, looks like I need a bit more over here. Okay. Now if you have any stubborn pieces that won't come off, you can use your fingernail, or sometimes I get a super fine paintbrush and just go in and take away the extra pieces that are sticking in places I don't want them. All right, set that to the side for a moment. I'm going to use this like a little funnel to get all my silver embossing powder back into my jar. And then I can clear this out of the way. So now, unfortunately, I need to head over to my other desk to be able to heat this up because I don't have enough plugs over at this one to keep my heat tool over here. So just give me a moment. I'll give you guys back the stamp set so that you can take a look at that and see how beautiful that one is. So there we go. I've heated up our embossing powder on there and created a gorgeous silver outline. And now I'm going to grab my tailored tag punch and come in here and trim the ends like that. And this end. So now I've got a cute little tag all ready to add to the front of my card. And put those scraps away. Now for some finishing touches, we're going to add these two pieces using some dimensionals. So I'm actually going to use up some scraps because I need just some really thin pieces here. So this one I'm going to put kind of in the center, and this one's going to go up at the top, and then I can use a whole piece over here. So I'm just doing half of my tree because I want just the part that's going to go onto my tag to be popped up. Okay, so do that. Pop that on there. And then peel off the backing of my sentiment. And we're going to do this one so it overlaps my tree and goes off of my tag. And now we've just got this little bit of empty space here, and so we're going to finish that up with some frosted and clear epoxy droplets. I'm going to just use the frosted ones for this card. And we'll pop those in here. So maybe do like one up there and a couple down here, just like little snowflakes falling. And there we have it. That is our finished card for today. So it's quite an elegant card using all that silver and white. And yeah, you can do so many things with this stamp set. You can create vibrant cards, use the plaids. I've created some Christmas stuff in lots of reds and greens. So many options with this stamp set. This was just one of them. So definitely check out my website this week, or not my website, my Facebook page this week. And I'm going to be posting all sorts of In the Pines cards in all different color combos, and just having a lot of fun with it. So I hope you check that out, and I'll see you next Tuesday for my next Facebook Live. Bye!